I knew from the very beginning that this guru is something special.
Baba is a revolutionary par excellence. He brings change in every area of life.
Baba to me is the oneness of everything.
He was a very miraculous, a very powerful person. He gives love so
Indira
much.
Gandhi got it in her head that Baba would be her downfall.
My guru is in jail because he opposes this whole system.
He propounded one theory known as PROUT, and that was the cause for persecution.
Baba did not come randomly to this planet. He came with a mission, and he came at a critical juncture in history.
So, Dada,
Yes.
we all know that Baba was arrested in 71. He spent nearly 7 years in jail.
Yes.
Fasted for 5 years, 4 months, 2 days while in jail. We know that story, but why was Baba arrested in the first place?
That's a very good story about it. And there is too much of politics also in it. Indian politics. Rather, I should say international politics was playing some game.
So you want to say then that Indira Gandhi herself fundamentally was not opposed to Anandamarga, but due to political exigencies, due to political opportunism, she switched her position.
Yes. To see the reliever, and she was appreciating Anandamurti. Soon after that, what happened? That she was fearing some of her political opponent in the Congress party itself. There had been some senior leaders, like Morarji Desai.
Right.
He was deputy prime minister at that time. Some monks were framed with the charge of conspiracy and murder. And in 1971, in the end of this December, Anandamurti was arrested from his residence of Patna, Bihar. He was arrested and he was taken to prison. While Anandamurti was in prison, they attempted to kill Anandamurti by any means, even in jail. I can tell you a very good story that in 1972 or 73, one murderer was deputed to kill Anandamurti inside the cell in which he was living. He attempted 2 times to kill him. One time when he went to see or enter into the cell of Anandamurti, he saw that he is not there. He was not there. In the midnight at 12 o'clock, when he was closed inside the cell, the murderer was allowed to enter somehow. When he entered there, he saw that Anandamurti is not there. So he came out and told the police force that whom to kill, there is none. So that day was over. Again CBI asked her to do something once again. Next time, after a few days, again that murderer went inside the cell. Then he found that the cell is so hot that he would die if he enters there. So he came out and then he promised that he will not kill him. He cannot kill him at all. So 2 attempts failed. Then the government of Indira Gandhi and CBI and the CPM, with the help of CBI, attempted to kill him through poisoning. So the doctor was deputed for that one. The jail doctor was deputed. And on one occasion when Anandamurti complained of some problem, physical problem, the doctor, at the midnight he came, he gave some medicine, Anandamurti took it, and that medicine was so powerful that it worked as poison to him. And actually, I can say that it was a case of poisoning. Then Anandamurti wrote a letter to the governor and the central, the Prime Minister of India and the President of India, that there should be judicial inquiry about on this issue of poisoning him inside the jail. But the government didn't hear. Ultimately, there was a private judicial inquiry. It is known as Chakravarti Commission.
Right.
That Chakravarti Commission, it was amply proved that in the form of medicine, he was poisoned. That was over. But Baba could not be killed.
So he propounded one theory known as PROUT, Progressive Utilization Theory. And that was the cause for persecution.
Which I came out from the jail, I inquired from the doctors, some Margi doctors and other doctors were there. They immediately told that he had been poisoned, and these are the reactions of the poison. Then what happened, in spite that we just tried to there should inquiry into this incident. Who is the persons behind this nefarious work? So we wanted judicial inquiry, judicial proof. The Indira government, because she was not in position to, she never gave opportunity to express ourselves, to place the fact before the public that what is the thing. She suppressed this fact, she didn't institute inquiry. Baba was compelled to go on fast from 1st April 1973 and he continued his fast up to 78. So 5 years, 4 months and 1 day he continues his fast.
I wrote a letter to the President of India that I know who are the black hands working from behind the curtain.
He wants peaceful society. And how it can be, that's why he has given the practical, the theories. And we'll have to implement it. PROUT, if it is done, implemented, then there is no misery, there is no poverty. Everybody is equal, everybody is in peace and love. When he was in prison, and if that CBI arrested him and he was poisoned, so what he did was, the CBI asked Mr. P.R. Sarkar, you denounce PROUT, then we will release you unconditional and we will start propagating that you are God on this earth. Baba told that no. Whether you announce it, I am God or not, but my love for the suffering humanity, which I have propounded this PROUT philosophy, will stand. You can do whatever you like, but I stand for this.
That fast continued. We thought, how long can anyone continue in a jail cell fasting?
After he came out of jail, then we learned that it wasn't just fasting. We could understand, hey, living in a prison cell, he spread his mission around the world with greater speed than it could have been done, directing, saying, do this, do that, because there was a strong sentiment. And while walking in Bangkok, he told me, while I was in prison, I was doing a special tantric ceremony. Only then did he reveal the fact that this system, this process, is a way of rejuvenating the body. And he said, while undergoing this fast, I rejuvenated, I refreshed all the organs of my body. Everything improved. I even started to grow a third set of teeth. Everything improved except just my eyesight. That also would have improved if I'd continued for a few weeks more, but I had to come out of jail when I did for the welfare of my mission. He'd achieved his purpose in jail, he came out, and the next phase began. He said, I wanted to teach this practice to some of my children because at present I'm the only person on the planet who knows this technique. But you see, it takes a lot of time. He was fasting 5 years, 4 months, 2 days. It takes a lot of time, and my boys, my girls, they're all so busy. When will they get the time to practice this? So it was amusing and at the same time eye-opening. It was all a plan, but also a mysterious plan because we didn't realize any of that was going on at the time. It seemed to me that Baba never wanted any self-immolations. The first man who self-immolated, Acharya Divyananda, he had been requesting Baba for years to allow him to do it. And finally, grudgingly, Baba gave an okay. The self-immolation took place in Patna. But immediately, there were accusations that he didn't self-immolate, it wasn't of his free will, that he had been murdered by Anandamargi, similar to the spurious grounds on which Baba had himself been arrested, the accusation that we had killed our own people. Soon after that self-immolation, there was another one in Delhi, in New Delhi, announced in advance. But the person who self-immolated came forward at the last moment. His name was Dineshwarananda. And the event was even captured on video by a French reporter. But once again, the government claimed that a murder had taken place. They chased down the reporter, seized his video, and pursued the fictional narrative that this was again a murder. The third event, the third self-immolation, took place in Bankipur jail itself. It was Atulananda, who occasionally served as Baba's, or who was then serving as Baba's personal assistant inside the jail itself. Baba wasn't a big problem. He wasn't eating, he was fasting, he was lying in his jail, but he went into the kitchen. Baba had a theoretical separate kitchen, and in that kitchen there was a small kerosene stove. He took that kerosene stove, emptied it out, poured what little kerosene was in the stove on his head, and lit a match, lit a flame. Clearly this time the government, the West Bengal government, could not come forward and say that this was a murder. It took place right inside the prison itself, and the circumstances were clear. But still, Baba felt it deeply. He had great regard for Atulananji. He told me the story himself, and it was after that self-immolation that Baba sent out the instruction that this has to stop. But even though Baba had instructed that the self-immolations should not occur, still there were some who continued.
You know, when the spiritual preceptor is being tortured by certain, the people who are opposed to our ideology, it's really a very sad thing. They cannot tolerate it. My guru is to be tortured. So that's why these things has happened. But Baba felt very sad of these immolations. This poisoning case, I took up the case in the United Nations. I met Youth Hunt was at that time, Secretary General at that time. Myself, one American sister and one American Margi. We met him and he wrote a letter to Indira Gandhi that P.R. Sarkar is not an ordinary human prisoner. He should be treated as some special person in the prison.
On February 12th of 1973, Baba was poisoned inside the prison itself. The hand that poisoned Baba was that of the prison doctor. He did that foul deed under order coming directly from the Prime Minister's office. A normal person would have died. Baba went into a coma. When he emerged from the coma, he was blind for about a week. It took almost a month for him to return to normal health. At that time, he and our organization demanded a high-level investigation into the event. In support of that demand, Baba began a protest fast. However, as the true culprit for this crime was none other than the government of India, Baba's demand was never met. And so Baba continued his fast from April 1st of 1973 until August 2nd of 1978, when he returned home from prison, having been acquitted of all charges against him. While he was fasting, Baba consumed nothing prepared in the prison, subsisting on a cup of curd water, a little bit of yogurt mixed into a cup of water, once or twice a day. That was brought to him from outside the prison by his personal assistant, Acharya Ramananda Avadhuta. The question in everybody's mind was, how long can Baba survive like that?
Majority, those who were in contact with Baba, they were very, Baba will come out today or tomorrow. And he has been innocently imprisoned. So there was a very long, very big movement around the world.
ডাকিছে কে কা জোছনা
ডাকিছে কে কোন বিরহিনী কথা কাঁদিছে কোন বিরহিনী কথা কাঁদিছে জোছনায় মেঘ দেখে ডাকিছে কে জোছনায় মেঘ দেখে ডাকিছে কে